We tend to imagine motivation as a turning point, a day where something finally makes sense, where effort feels natural, where starting suddenly becomes easy and stays easy. Like once it begins, the struggle is over. But that isn't how change actually works. Change is repetitive. It's built on days that feel almost pointless. Days where you wake up and nothing inside you agrees with what you've decided to become. No drive, no belief, no emotional lift telling you this matters. Just a quiet argument in your head. Skip today, start tomorrow. One day won't make a difference. And technically, that's true. One day won't make a difference, but the pattern will. The hardest part of growth isn't the effort, it's consistency without emotional reward. Because we're wired to repeat what feels relieving, not what's meaningful. So when the feeling disappears, the brain interprets that as a failure. You assume you've lost progress, you assume something is wrong, you assume you're back to where you started. But nothing has gone wrong. You simply reached the part where change actually happens. Anyone can act when they feel strong, but identity forms when actions become independent of mood. When the walk happens even though it feels heavy. When the task gets done without pride attached to it. When you keep a promise to yourself in silence, not dramatic, not powerful, just repeated. That repetition teaches the nervous system safety. Not, I feel better, but I stayed. For a long time, I believed progress meant relief. If the weight lifted, I was improving. If the fog returned, I had failed. So every difficult day felt like undoing everything that came before it. But the difficult days were never the interruption. They were the training. Because what the mind learns from isn't intensity, it's evidence. And evidence only comes from behavior that continues when comfort disappears. The days you do it anyway are proof. You showed up without certainty. You continue without reward. You repeat something that currently feels meaningless. And slowly your brain stops asking whether you will quit. It begins expecting that you won't. That expectation becomes trust, and trust becomes stability. There's no dramatic moment where everything changes. Instead, something quieter happens. You hesitate less. You recover faster. You argue with yourself for a shorter time. Not because life got easier, but because leaving is no longer your automatic response. You've noticed the number of times you abandon yourself, and that is what resilience actually is. So if today feels empty, if the effort feels mechanical, if there's no motivation attached to what you're doing, you're not off track. You're exactly in the place where change is built. The days you do it anyway are the days the future version of you begins to trust the present one. Not through hope, through proof. You won't remember the inspired days nearly as much as you think. You'll be shaped by the quiet ones, the ordinary mornings when nothing pushed you forwards. And you moved anyway. This is the lesser journey of a road travelled. And if you're liking what you're listening to, hit the like and subscribe. It keeps you informed of the upcoming episodes, and it also tells that algorithm thingammy-do-fit that we are doing our bit and interacting with you guys. Until next time, one foot in front of the other, keep that journey going.